Me again, Ty?
X plus 3 over X minus 2.
Okay. All right, that's correct. X plus 3 over X minus 2. Does anybody have something different, like when we talk about all the negatives, and that could be right? Okay, what you got, Tim?
I have negative X minus 3 over 2 minus X.
Negative X minus 3 over 2 minus X. Okay, that's equivalent. So you don't need to worry about changing anything. Because we talked about if everything's the opposite sign, negative, negative, positive, negative, you're good. Okay? You don't even need to, like I said, convert this over to that. Okay, whatever you got's fine. All right, let's just go through here. Y equals 2x plus 3 over x minus 1. Change all your y's to x's. And then y minus 1. So multiply here by y minus 1. And so I get x times y minus 1 equals 2y plus 3. Now, at this point, we've had some cases where you didn't have to distribute. You've got to distribute that x there because that y, we got two terms with a y in it. You got to get them on the same side. And so we got xy minus x equals 2y plus 3. Now, here's where it depends on which answer you get, which side you move everything to, okay, where you move the y's to. So if I subtract 2y, and then I add x, okay, I should have that, xy minus 2y, and then x plus 3. Factor out the y, GCF there, and then divide by x minus 2. And so that's going to be my inverse. X plus 3 over x minus 2. Okay, for that one. All right, now domain and range for that one. So what do we got for that as you take a look? Domain and range. Kate, what do you think? Domain, hold on, let me write it down. Give me a second. Domain of f, range of f, domain of the inverse, and range of the inverse. All right, Kate, what you got?
The domain of f of x is negative infinity, comma 1, united with 1 and 2 infinity.
Gotcha. How about range?
Is negative infinity to 2.
Okay.
United with 2 to infinity.
Gotcha.
And then the domain for f, the inverse of x, is negative infinity, comma 2, united with 2, comma infinity.
And then I'm going to say negative infinity to 1, 1 to infinity, right? All right, so remember, once you get the domains, your ranges are based upon the domains. So your domain of the inverse has to match the range of the original function, and the domain of the original function has to match the range of the inverse. So you really typically don't know the ranges until you get to that, until you get to this point. All right, so that's finding an inverse. A lot of algebra there. Good problem to know. Okay. All right, I'm just going to go through a couple things here today and give you some time in class to work as well. So definitely hit some things that you need to know. You've had this before. That was on the quiz. You'll see it again. All right, so let's take a look. We'll do it together here. So I will give you that formula. You do not have to memorize that formula. That is the difference quotient there. Here's your quiz. Hold on, let me do a quick update on my attendance. Okay. All right, so in this case here, we want to find f of x plus h minus f of x. So you got two problems on the top. Those are two separate problems. We're going to take the difference of those. So for the first one, everywhere there's an x, you got to replace it with x plus h. And I'm going to put in brackets. I always do that just to show the separation. So it's 3. This x gets replaced with x plus h squared minus 7 times x plus h plus 4. Don't forget that plus 4 at the end. Minus f of x, which is just the original function. Okay, it's just the original function. Everything is divided by h. Okay, everything's divided by h. In the end, that h should cancel on the bottom. Okay, if we do everything right, that h will end up canceling. Now it's just algebra. Okay, that's the key part here. We set it up. Now we do the algebra. Now we talked about this earlier. I'll talk about it again. When you FOIL x plus h times x plus h, you're going to end up with x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. Those two middle terms will be xh's. They'll add up to 2. Got to make sure it gives you that. And so I'm going to have 3 x squared plus 2xh plus h squared minus 7x minus 7h plus 4. Okay, all of that. Now I'm going to go ahead and distribute my negative. Minus 3x squared plus 7x minus 4 all over h. So you have to distribute that negative because you're subtracting a quantity. All right, I'm going to distribute the 3 and then start combining some like terms. That gives me 3x squared plus 6xh plus 3h squared minus 7x minus 7h plus 4 minus 3x squared plus 7x minus 4 all over h. All over h. Now really, everything without an h should add up to 0. Should cancel with something. Okay. 3x squared. There's going to be a minus 3x squared. That's going to add up to 0. I got a minus 7x, I got a plus 7x, I got a positive 4, and I got a negative 4. So everything without an h should add up to 0, and we're going to be left with, and you don't need to worry about rearranging anything. You can just keep it in this order. 6xh plus 3h squared minus 7h all over h. So everything in the top has an h. You can factor out an h. This is technically what's going on. And then this is where this h will cancel. And so in the end, you get 6x plus 3h minus 7. Even if there is a GCF, you don't need to take out a GCF. Don't need to try to factor. Just leave it as it is. Okay, so that's your difference quotient, 6x plus 3h minus 7. Okay, for that original problem. On your quiz, it'll be on the test. All right, average rate of change. You will need to know this. And really, the only thing you should need is copy that down. You do need to know that. So as we go from B to A, average rate of change is f of B minus f of A over B minus A. Okay. Now, what does that look like here? So what is the average rate of change from 2 to 5 for the function given? F of x equals 3x squared minus 5x plus 2. So let's take a look at that here. Okay, this means that a equals 2, b equals 5. A equals 2, b equals 5. So f of, and the order is going to be important or else you get the sign backwards. So f of 5 minus f of 2 over 5 minus 2. So now, f of 5, plug that in. This will be 3 times 5 squared minus 5 times 5 plus 2 minus f of 2, which is 3 times 2 squared minus 5 times 2 plus 2 over 5 minus 2, which will end up giving me 3. So let's see here. 5 squared, 25 times 3 is 75. 52, first one. Minus 2 squared is 4. 12 minus 10 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. So I got 52 minus 4, which is 48 divided by 3. 16. Agree? All right. So the average rate of change is 16. F of 5 minus F of 2. If you change the constants, if this goes from like 2 to 3, it'll be different. If you go from 3 to 5, it'll be different as well. Okay. And I said I'll give you, and I'm going to give you time here on the review. But anything you need me to go over that you weren't sure about, like as you looked at. Like it's just a case where you were just totally unsure. Right. Somebody's lying because I know somebody has a question. Eventually, it'll come out. All right, here's what you got, and I'm gonna put out an answer key to this here up front. I got one in the back, and I know I have one on Canvas. But in addition, okay, that review really covers the second part of the chapter. It doesn't cover everything. So here's some additional problems that you should look through. Okay. Your job is to go through. You need to know the quiz. You need to know the review sheet I gave you yesterday, and then these problems. Okay, so give you some time to work, over those. And anything you don't get, like I said, I'll be on Sunday night at 8, a little review session. If you want to jump on, and I'll send out. It'll be on Canvas, and I'll send out probably directions either through an email or whatever. I think it shouldn't be an issue. I'll give you the answers to this. Now, once I put this down, I do have the answers to the worksheet, but I'll put a sheet up here as well. So go ahead and get this down. And let's see here.